This is a video on how to run your 3500 booklet system with 5000 collator towers. So when turning on this system, the first thing you do is you turn this switch on right here on the front tower only. The back tower, it should be off. All switches on here, this are on and off switches, should be always on off, with the exception of this one down here above the plug-in on the front tower, and the same on the back tower. As you see, that's right here. We're going to come over here to the booklet maker. Here we go, and what we're going to do is this button right here does size change. You have multiple sets in here, so they call it sets, it's actually jobs. You find the job that you want. Here we go. Hit enter. That's the enter button. And then the back button to get to the setup. This here is your step mode button. If you push it, the booklet maker is actually going to set up for the job. And this is where you would go to your collator tower and hit calibration. Let's see, block mode. And then main. And you would calibrate for the job, which would be in these top number 2, 3, and 4 on the top 5 bins. So it calibrates it, sends it down there. The lights are lit up, say that they're good. We'll put in 5. And we're going to go ahead and hit the start button. And what it's going to do is going to run it on up in here. Comes down, feeds in, and it's going to set here. Now this is step mode. So what you would do is you hit the jog button here. It's going to bring those pieces in. And on here, different selections of what you could do. Stoppers. Stitch position. So we're going to go up to the stoppers, and then this is set up for 17.04. As you can see, if you look closely, there's a gap there between the end stops there. What we're going to do is we're going to go smaller size. I'm going to bring it to 17 on the dot. Hit the enter button. And then jog. Still there's a gap there. We're going to go a slight bit smaller. Enter. Maybe a little bit more. And we're going to look at that and we're going to jog it. Now the side guides look perfect. The end stops, maybe it's still a slight bit more to go. Alright. since that is good, we're going to come over here. We're going to hit this staple. It's going to staple it, send it on into the fold section. Going to look at that. Both the side guides are tight. We want to loosen them up a hair because we don't want it jamming in there. So that gives them a little bit of a gap on each side to where it doesn't jam. Now the wheels, they should be a little bit closer than that. We're going to go to back roller. It says 1710. That should not be right. It should be the same length as the paper. At least go down to 17. Enter. And what it does, it brings in wheels all the way up to the edge. As you can see, they should be the bolt in the center of that wheel, the screw, should be lined up with the end of your paper. Once you have that, we're going to come back over here to this button again. We're going to push it. It's going to fold it, send it in there, cut it, and send it to the end. Now these wheels were set up wrong. They should have been out further. When setting up these wheels, you want to put the book there, set it up right here, and again, center of the wheel into the paper. The books that are on here are from a previous job. There's a short sheet kit that goes in this, and that would be that guide here. Gets changed out with this guide here as well. Both those side guides and this side guide, that side guide, and then there's two paper guides here in the center that are just posts that stick out. They get changed out as well. Now I recommend that you leave the short sheet kit guides in on this back side, and it's perfectly fine to run it that way. All it's doing is it's missing one post on each side. The original ones are 2 posts and 2 posts. The short sheet guide is 1 post and 1 post, and they're both to the inside. You can actually see them down in here, right there, on each side of that belt. When running the tower, you have different options and different modes. You can read this up in your manual, which you'll be receiving. You have block. This here's the directionals, so you can run out the back, collating into your stacker that is there. You can do both towers, or you can just do one. We're going to keep them both going forward for the moment. Then there is programs, where if you're not in block mode, you can run programs. And what it does is, because cover stock is usually thicker, you would be running cover stock in both the top bin and second bin. And you would put these metal guides over there on the second bin when running this program, so that when the paper runs out on the top, it comes down, the second bin comes up, and as the paper's running out, these can depress down. You have them for the front tower and the back tower. These guides, you have those, and these spring-loaded ones. These would actually go on the corner of your paper like so that when it comes down, it can depress. And the same with this here, goes on the front. And then you have one more that goes on the back that holds the paper from coming out. You have to have that one there. Even though this corner one is here, the paper will come up and over this one, but they won't go up over the metal guides due to the fact of that metal lip there. Come back over here. Now we're going to go to block mode. Now in block mode, you can set this up in half or quarters. Now if it's in quarters, what it does is it breaks it down to 5, 5, 5, and 5. If this is half, it breaks it down 10 and 10. So we're going to leave it on quarter. Now we're going to go ahead and go to cover inserter. With the cover inserter, these are specialty jobs that you can read up in the book on. Most people don't use it. It has to deal with running covers in different sections of your book. We're going to go ahead and go back to, where was it? Block mode. This is your auto change. It's auto change, so when it runs out of paper, it's automatically go to the next bin. But if you put it on regular change, it will, you have to hit the start button after it runs out of paper so that it'll start up in the next section. Anytime you want to change where your position is at, you push that button there. You can manually change it. We're going to put this back in auto. Most people prefer auto. We're going to go ahead and go to options now. Okay, here in options you have what they call shingling. That's the first top row here. And that's basically how much further it shingles out. The most you may have to do is number 2. You only have 2 towers. And I would only run number 2 if you're running a lot of thick stock through there. If you're running regular inside sheets with a cover, you shouldn't have to change from 1. Next is going to be detect position. It's where it's going to detect on the paper to read whether it's a double or single. It's broke down into 6 sections to read. You can move it if you have something like a really dark color, like black on the face and black on the inside, and it just won't read that spot, or some really dark lettering, it just won't get, the light won't go through. These bulbs on here that do the double detect work like infrared rays from the sun. It's an infrared that shoots down and it emits so much and it receives so much. And if it's not receiving enough, it says double. If it's receiving way too much, it says there's a miss. So that's how it works, and you can move the position on here with this button here. We're going to go ahead and go back to the position it was at. Next is detect sensitivity. Now this is how much issues are on the paper. So if the image is not 100% perfect, you can adjust up or down on that sensitivity. If your lenses are, like, a lot of dust has gotten in your machine over time, you will have to change that back and forth just to make it read if you're just trying to get through a job. Otherwise, clean your doubles detects, which are located on the back. You will clean the emitter and the receiver on those. But this here works a little different because it is a Japanese machine, so basically the way it works is less problems, more problems. That's the way they see it. So basically less issues, more issues. Some people turn that all the way up. We actually have it at halfway right now. Clutch feed timing. Okay, for 11x17 this should be up to there. If you run the largest size on here, which is 13x19, you will want to turn it all the way up. You can actually go down to there for 11x17 as well. 8.5x11, you can go here to here. But that's basically how long these feeding wheels on the manifold, the belts, run for. Bringing it in. So if you're having a little bit of an issue with feeding because of things like heavier stock, a lot of static, you're going to go ahead and adjust those a little bit. Okay, manual stitch. Basically, if you turn this on, you're going to hand feed your job through there. You just set it in the tray. Each time you set a set in the tray, it's going to go on in there, stitch, fold, trim, and then again and again. You can turn it on right here, and you turn it off right here. The only other way to turn it off after you turned it on is to open a cover or hit emergency stop switch. In which case, if you do that while there's paper inside the machine, it's going to stop in the section it's at. Next is your DC 8000S ST stacker. Okay, that is your little stacker here in the back. And when you change to the back tower, it becomes the master tower, and that's where you would do the control of it, is on the back tower. Whether it's on or off, do that button, or offset or straight stack, that's where you'll make your adjustments. Hand marry. Hand marry is basically this unit right here matching with your papers on the inside. So say you have a 21 sheet job and you only have 20 pages or 20 bins. You need to add a cover. You would add the cover in here and you would set this up. It's on number 2, which means your speed. And the timing is how fast it's going to end up at meeting with your every time you drop a cover in there. The most you can add in here is 5 sheets to the top of what's running from the system, because all these booklet makers won't take no more than 25 sheets of paper. If you put it on number 1, like I said, you'll be going by the machine speed. The machine speed is faster than your speed. Plus, if you hiccup on grabbing a sheet, it's going to run one through there without the cover on. So it's always best to run it on yours, your speed, which would be number 2. There's the on and off button for it. Coming to here, the reject station is this unit down here. What happens is if you have a double or a miss, it drops a set down there and then keeps on running into the booklet maker. Now, down at the bottom it says 1 set or 2 is basically an error. If it has more than 2 errors from the same bin back to back, it will shut down because it notices there's a problem. If you're running an important job and you have to run it and it has a cover stock with a name on it and an inside page with a name on it, then you're going to want to put it down onto 1 due to the fact that you want those both to line up. Now back to this top one. If you put this off a reject tray and you put it to other, what will happen is when you calibrate the job, it won't go into the bottom, it will actually go into the booklet maker, stitch, fold, and trim it. Which, if your pages are off or sheets flipped over, anything like that, it will run through the booklet maker and then you're down a set. So it's always best to have it to the reject tray, inspect it, and then when you're done running your job, take that job or any others that have doubles and misses in it, fix them, make sure they're complete sets, set them on the front, and then go back to the manual stitch, turn it on, and hand feed those jobs in there. Buzzer sound should always be on. If there's an error, you need to know. You need to be able to hear it over other machines in your shop. So we always tell everybody leave it on. They do have an off button. You can turn it off. It's not preferred to turn it off. Counter repeat. The way counter repeat works is you put in a count. Say 50. You run 50. You collect them on the end. And then you hit the go button again. It's going to run another 50. And it'll keep doing that. That helps for some people who want to run jobs and have so many that they put in each box from that job. So say your box holds 200, you put 200 in there. When it runs it out, it's going to stop. You know 200 made it at the end. conveyance jams detect. It has an on and off switch for that. Those are located right down here. There's a sensor there. There's a sensor right here. And then in between the towers, right at the back, on the back wall, there's one there. And same on the back tower here. Those read when the paper comes through. If they get dirty and you don't have the time to clean them and you're in the middle of running a job, you can turn it off for the moment until you can clean them. Or if they go bad, you can turn it off and continue to run your system while you're waiting for that part to come in. Again, this one here is for how many mess ups per bin. Doubles, misses, jams. Usually if there's a jam, it's going to shut down though. This is your separator air. It's kind of like these are all your fans that are in for each bin. You have 10 bins, so there's fans for each bin, and you have 3 settings. When you're running 11 by 17 or bigger, you're going to want to put it on 1. When you're running 8.5 by 11, you're going to want to put it on number 2. The reason for that is it's too aggressive and it'll give you false doubles. So it's best to run it on number 2 for 8.5 by 11. Some people also run 8.5 by 14 sheets for some corner stapling, which you don't have that on this system. You would have to actually purchase a kit for that. But there are some jobs people are actually running that size paper and making books out of it. If you are, run it down to number 2. False doubles.